Check out Halloween merchandise, Halloween decor, head out to Tom Sawyer Island, and we're going to take the Liberty Bell around the loop and talk a little bit about what is coming to the Magic Kingdom. So join us as we get some spooky vibes here at Magic Kingdom. And the pumpkin wreaths are back on Main Street USA. This is right in front of Town Square Theater where Mickey meets. This is a great time of year to just kind of take a stroll around Magic Kingdom and look at all the pumpkin decorations up on the buildings on Main Street USA. And again, this is Town Square Theater. I about called it Main Street Theater. But Town Square Theater has a ton of fall decor up. So if you're coming to the Magic Kingdom, make sure to look up, check out all the fall decor. So they've actually started selling these wreaths inside of stores, and we're gonna go check the Emporium over there to see if they have it, but they sell out really quickly and they sell out in the morning. We're here early enough. It's about 9:45, so I think we're gonna head over there to the Emporium after we check out some of the decor, just to see if they have the wreath in there. Got some pumpkins inside this little grass area, and this is by the Lady and the Tramp statue. But they have little pumpkins, like a pumpkin patch. Main Street USA. So we've got a drummer. And this is kind of like their drum line in the band. I think that comes with the Family of the Day, I believe, at the beginning of the parade. I think that's where we see the drum line. So that's pretty cool. And this is a little scarecrow. They've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like they've got 7 of them around this main area. We've got a scarecrow from the Haunted Mansion. We've got the stretching room scarecrow, and she's got her umbrella. And then we have the mayor of Main Street USA, and he's got his little sash on and his hat. I guess I never really realized the pine straw that's like sticking out of them as much, except for this year. I mean, it makes sense, they're scarecrows, but yeah, this is adorable. I love these. There's a look at City Hall. This is a beautiful building. It's got little jack-o'-lanterns up there as well. So on all the buildings down Main Street USA, they'll have jack-o'-lanterns, and they get funnier. They get more animated as you kind of move down the line, and we'll take a look at some of those. So she's actually wearing the old Main Street Emporium and Main Street East costume, so I wonder if she'll eventually get a change here, maybe next year, because this is no longer the costume that they wear. So we've got a Casey's Corner inspired scarecrow with his baseball jersey on, a little baseball stuck in his mouth. That's no good. So they have a picture spot right here. You can get them in between the pumpkins, and it frames Cinderella's castle very well. So if you want a spooky picture, I highly recommend getting in line for this one. It is a little bit of a longer wait, usually, because usually the Roy statue is right here. So we've got some confectionery themed scarecrows, and she's got like an apron on with some candy apples, a lollipop, and candy corn on her hat. And then we've got the little dude over here. He's got his sugar bag, but his sugar is spilled. Oh no. And there's a lizard on it. I don't know if you can see that. He's enjoying the sugar. But these are adorable. The confectionery, home of Mars Candy Treats. And I think Mars are the candy company that make Snickers, I believe, right? Milky Way and those. I think they are all owned by the same company. I could be wrong as to which type of candy bars are made by Mars, but I didn't know if people knew that. Main Street Confectionery is actually, it's the home of the Mars Candy Treats. Is it called Garland? I guess it would be, right? Garland's not just specific to Christmas. And then if you take a look, they have these little wreaths. Those are pretty. Mars, I think maybe oh yeah, I did get it right. Snickers is, whoa. Snickers is right there. Milky Way, the Three Musketeers. Are these like the old school packaging? Skittles, Twix, M&M. Wow, that's fun. I'm trying to see if it's got like a year on it. I don't think it does. But those are definitely old packaging for some of your favorite candy bars. I think we're moving so fast at times where we don't stop and appreciate the Main Street windows, but yeah, I like looking at those things because they're small little Easter eggs. And this is, again, right across from Town Square Theater, and you can see the Mars Candy Shop, which is AKA the confectionery. So we'll go in the confectionery, see if they have any fall treats, because they do have some fall decor up. And we do have some what do you call them? Candy makers, candeliers? I don't know. No, I think those are people that make candles. We got candy makers. but they have like little stories and backgrounds about each of them. I mean, I know we call them chocolatiers, right? The people that make chocolate, but what do we call people that make candy? Willy Wonka? Oh, look at this. So this is like the window that I was talking about outside, but it has it displayed better over here and talks a lot about the popular candies that we've enjoyed for so long. Snickers is my favorite, so it's kind of fun reading these. Oh, we got some more. Meet the Sweets. Hailing from hometowns across the country. Oh, okay, so it's like people, oh yeah, it makes sense. People from different areas around the United States making their own candy. I guess it's kind of a competition or a collection of people. I like that this guy is from Main Street, USA. Because the rest of them have states and cities. But that guy, he's just got Main Street. They have a smaller Halloween section. They've got candy corn in these little Halloween buckets, the trick-or-treat buckets. So it's got Minnie. They've got Minnie for one. And it says sweet as candy. And then Mickey's will say trick-or-treat. And they've got little candy corn inside. Although Minnie's is candy corn gummies. And this is regular candy corn, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever had candy corn gummies. And then they've got the Rice Krispie treats with M&Ms on them, covered in chocolate. And $6.99. And you got a Hocus Pocus. And this is a Sanderson Sisters chocolate bar. It's huge. It's milk chocolate with popping candy rock. So, yeah, that's awesome. So you got Daisy as Sarah, Minnie as Winnie, and Clarabelle as Mary. Customize your popcorn. I didn't know that. So it's Colonel Kitchen is what it's called. 2 toppings plus syrup is $12.99. 3 toppings plus syrup is $13.99. And additional toppings are $1. But here's a look at what those look like. They got, looks like some Halloween. So that looks like Oreo M&M popcorn with like an orange syrup. You got some worms over here with some marshmallows, looks like, and popcorn. And then you've got like a dyed popcorn here. It's like purple and orange. You've got a Halloween treat mix. So it's got pretzels in this one too. Oh wow. They really have thought of it all. And down there you can go get candied popcorn, and that's where you do that candy, or the popcorn making down there. And then they have some Halloween treats. Mickey Spiderweb cookie. You have a Mickey marshmallow with little spiders. Ooh, M&Ms, that's fun. On them, and then a Halloween Mickey cereal treat. I love this. It's been a long time since I've stopped in the confectionery. I missed the cupcake. So we got a mini chocolate cupcake and a Mickey vanilla cupcake. It's got little spiders fondant on it. It's got their little ears. Mickey's got like a pumpkin on his head. Minnie's got like kind of like what her costume looks like now. It's that green and purple icing. And she's got little sprinkles. Ah, those look real good. Magic Kingdom and Disney as a whole just tell a great story. And if you're interested, they did win some prizes. So for their little treats, and they have their treats featured with their little portraits, and they have little ribbons on them. So again, telling a great story here in the confectionery. There we go. And here's kind of some background on some of the characters. 6-star chefs. It's like a little newspaper clipping. And then here's what's going on. The sweetest spoon is what they're being awarded. Yes, and if you need a nice cold beverage, you can get it inside of the confectionery as well. And if you want to see those chefs from inside the Main Street confectionery, you can actually pop right out onto Main Street and you can see the sweetest spoon winners. We're all winners here. That's pretty cool. So yeah, this kind of wraps up this story. Confectionery has Donald dressed as a candy corn. Looks like a traffic cone. I like this, the little kitty cat. Got some Mars candy in there. Oh, the Dapper Dans are singing. Main Street, USA. What a great sound. And then on this side, they got Huey, Dewey, and Louie, also dressed as candy corn. And they're trick-or-treating. They're so cute. Oh, this pumpkin is going through it right now. He is terrified. He's screaming. Poor little guy. Oh, man. He's having a day, huh? Alrighty, we're gonna head into the Emporium and see if they've got any merchandise we haven't seen. And we'll pop out on the other side near Casey's Corner. Welcome to the Emporium. If you're going to come to the Emporium, I highly recommend coming during the morning because everybody's kind of out doing their rides right now and a lot of lightning lane stuff. And it leaves Main Street relatively empty and the Emporium as a result. Got some Halloween pins. Okay, so there's like a middle section that is usually the seasonal stuff. So this is where all the Halloween merchandise will be. Which we've seen, I think, they do have it. They have the wreath. Oh man. I just don't want to carry it around all day. Here we go, here's a better look at them. There was a family taking a photo in front of the Halloween thing, so I didn't want to be rude. Yeah, I want it. Maybe we'll come back and see if they got it. But they've sold out quickly because Disney Springs sold out yesterday. And it looks like they just restock them as the day goes on. So, or not as the day goes on, as the morning hits. So, I don't know. They've kept coming back. I think they sell and they're very popular. So I think Disney's going to keep cranking them out. But again, Disney's one of those places that if you see something you like, you might want to buy it if you can, because you never know if you'll see it again. Okay, so when I say middle section, that's Uptown Jewelers right across there, and that's like the Crystal Arts shop, and just to the left-hand side is the Starbucks. If you come in right here into this middle section, this is what I'm talking about as far as seasonal area for the Emporium. And you'll see that gigantic castle. Just to the left, they had more wreaths. Right here, they have more wreaths. Wreaths everywhere. But it looks like they have pretty much the same merchandise that we've seen, so we're not going to spend too much time in here. We'll just kind of quickly walk by some things, see if we see anything. But looks like the Halloween merchandise is going to be exactly the same. We got mansion merchandise that we saw in the Disney Springs video as well. And then back towards the back, they'll have some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. So if you're a big Jack Skellington fan or a Sally fan, or Zero or Oogie Boogie. Got some Oogie Boogie things. Some spooky spookies. And they will keep most of the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff out. Oh, I don't know if we've seen that yet. That's cool. It's a white tank top. Like there's different versions, but I don't think this is one we've seen. And this is usually where like the merchandise is for Mickey's Not So Scary, is back in this back area, and they'll actually have it like blocked off where you have to check in with a cast member here, and you'll get in line right here, and then they'll let you back into like kind of this back area for Mickey's Not So Scary. So I think this is the area that they'll usually use. I think we saw all those ears. And this is like the Stitch merchandise that we've seen. There's the Mickey stuff. So we've seen those. I don't think we've seen that. So it's a gray zip. It's a hoodie. And on the back, oh, a ghoul's best friend. So Mickey or Walt Disney World is a ghoul's best friend? Because those are the girls back there. The last section is, you got some toys up here. You'll have keychains, like stationery, mugs, and different things like that. Some home decor things. But yeah, this back area used to be like where the t-shirts were, but they constantly rotate what the Emporium looks like, and they'll move things around based on their needs. So yeah, it's constantly changing. So next time you come, this store might be totally different. Oh, new Jungle Cruise mug. Ah, that's nice. That looks great. It's got like some trees on the bottom, some plants. Oh, that's fun. I don't know if I've seen too many Jungle Cruise mugs. I haven't seen him yet. Grogu coffee mug. Yeah, you can see the little ice cream cone up there. And over here on Casey's, baseball bat, hot dog. Then we got some French fries. Of course, we have peanuts because it is baseball themed. We just need some Cracker Jacks at this point. We got a baseball. It's all decked out for spooky time. The crowning jewel. Well, I'll be. It's not the Blue Fairy, but we do have some pumpkins in here. I don't know if they've done that, because I was just talking bad about it. I said, Disney, it'd be cool if you put some spooky stuff in, and boom, pumpkins. There's nothing more I need in the world than to sit here on Main Street, USA and just listen to this music, watch people go off onto their next adventures. It truly is a magical place, isn't it? Okay, I think we're gonna take a left here. Go to Liberty Square, because I always feel like it's the most Halloween feeling is Liberty Square. And we'll go hang out over there. We might get some Halloween treats today, so don't let me forget. Not that you can let me know, because this is filmed before any comments can happen, but yeah, we're gonna head this way. A lot of people taking a break. I think a cavalcade is coming from what I can remember, because there's a lot of people on Main Street USA just kind of camped out. So, and there's people over here, so that usually means, especially with the, so this is like Main Street Ops, so this is like the parade ops, people in the blue, and they're here for crowd control. I got some tape down, so I think there's a cavalcade coming. Sleepy Hollow refreshments, I think we're gonna try to kind of camp out right around here, because it does look like they are getting ready to push guests to the sides. And you can always tell when the parade or the cavalcades are coming, because you'll have cast members stand directly in the middle. Usually they'll stand off to the side. Once they get in the middle of this area, cavalcade. Vamos! To the Liberty Boat we go. This is the Liberty Bell station right there, and we are actually going to get on it and talk a little bit about the changes coming in the Magic Kingdom. And here's a look at the sign for the Liberty Bell right before you enter. Departs on the hour and half hour. The Liberty Bell just pulled into station, and people are hopping off of it and coming ashore. And we're actually going to head around Tom Sawyer Island, and changes are coming. So this is all going to be Cars attractions and Cars themed area. And yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about said area. So we will try our best to discuss this the best that we can with the, I guess, most unbiased opinion that we could possibly have. Something that we can talk about here on land is that this side is Frontierland, right? And from the concept art, this station right here, like this area, still appears to be somewhat in play for the transition into the Cars area that's going to be out here in the Rivers of America and where Tom Sawyer Island is. And then Billings is going to be beyond it. So it's the thing going in beyond Thunder Mountain. I don't know if they can shorten this waterway any at all. I guess we'll kind of see when we go back there and kind of give our thoughts on maybe there could be an area in which the Liberty Bell actually still exists, because while Rivers of America might be gone, there was not direct mention of the Liberty Bell itself. So I don't know if they've got plans for this to be docked somewhere, for people to be able to wander around in there, what it might become. It could become something, I think. I think it has the workings to be something else, but I guess we'll see. We're getting ready to load in, but this station right here seemed to be in the concept art for the Cars area. So I'll actually drop that photo in now. And as you can see, the thing I circled, it is still this station. So I think it's sticking around. So I don't know, but we're gonna go ahead and get on the Liberty boat, and we will go around and kind of look at our expansion possibilities back here and possibly what could happen with said Liberty Bell. There's no shade on some of the top areas of said Liberty Bell. There's a seat right there, and then this is towards the back of it. So maybe we'll go back towards the back and ride the front as well. But I wanted to come back here and get this view. Look at this view. The Haunted Mansion. You know what, now that I think about it, we'll have to check the concept art, but now that I'm looking, that might actually be the building that's still standing in the concept art. And obviously concept art is never permanent. Once they start to dig into these places, things change, and you'll see that a lot online where people will champion, especially against Disney, things that don't come to fruition. But you have to think, like, they don't know anything really about this specific area until they really start to dig into it. And you don't want to build on a sinkhole, because then things can fall through the earth. So you got to be careful about that. You got certain things with the soil here that you've got to think about. So concept art is of course never going to be 100%, but they try to get as close as possible as they possibly can to what they were envisioning at first with some of these areas. We're going to walk up to the front of the bell, because I kind of want to get a different angle. Good thing is it's very sunny out, and the front and the back of the bell are not shaded, so you get a pretty good sight line if you're okay with the heat. So we'll go over here. There's Huck and Tom and Becky, Tom Sawyer. And this used to be a quick service restaurant. And it's Aunt Polly's, but it was never open really. Specific times when it got busy, they would kind of open it for overflow. So when the parks were busy for Christmas or Thanksgiving or the 4th of July, and even during the summer sometimes, this area would be open. I think they had like chicken nuggets, just kind of your standard park food. It is a pretty boat. It takes on a whole different life at night as well, so you get some really good views of the park from this boat, and that is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't want this to go away. And again, like I said, this was not specifically mentioned in the announcement. That is the reason why Ashley wants that thing to go away, because Ashley used to work over here in Frontierland, and that is a very loud whistle. That was very, very loud. You can hear this outside of the park, like back there outside of Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom or parking lot for cast and beyond. You can hear, you can hear it in the houses back there that are like 5 to 10 minutes away from the actual theme park. It's pretty cool.
bicentennial stuff everywhere when I started elementary. It's only 5 years old. Yeah.
Welcome back to Liberty Square. At this time, please gather all personal belongings, take small children by the hand, and make your way down to the lower deck to exit. This will be your one and only exit off the boat.
So this is kind of just a look through one of the cabin areas, so you can actually sit indoors if you don't want to be out in the heat and kind of enjoy cushioned seats. But it's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever been in that part of the Liberty Bell. And we're on the second level. Everybody's disembarking, so there's a line at the stairs. So I thought I would take this time and kind of wander around the bell. What could be my last time? I don't know. Maybe we ride it one more time. Maybe Ashley comes with me. She's not a fan of this boat though. So we'll see. But yeah, sadness, right? It's gonna be sad, and this is a beautiful area. It fits very well back here, but change is coming. One of the things that will be truly missed, I think, is this walkway on the right-hand side. I'm sure that this stays somehow. I just don't know how they will re-theme it, because it doesn't really, I don't know. I don't think it'll really match up with what they're putting in here for cars, but I guess we'll find out. There she goes. That was a good ride. I enjoyed getting on the Liberty Bell. Saying probably my goodbyes, I guess. I'm not sure when it is closing, but the permits have been filed and construction will start soon. I'm imagining in 2024 is when, or sorry, 2025 is when all that construction will start for cars, and Tom Sawyer Island will make way, and so will the rivers of America as we know it. And everybody's doing their last laps probably. And those that have never been over to Tom Sawyer Island, because I know there are a lot of people that have never gone over there in all their time at Magic Kingdom. I have multiple friends that have never been over to Tom Sawyer Island, and that is the raft in which you use. It does go over to the island, and I believe they're both on tracks from what I remember. And spoiler alert, so is the Liberty Bell. Ruined some of the magic, I am sorry, but they're going to have to rip up that track as well. So It is just like one rail, I believe, or a couple rails that keep those boats going. So I don't think it'll be much, but that is how you get over to Tom Sawyer Island. So the rafts back and forth between Tom Sawyer Island and Frontierland, they've all been full. So I think a lot of people know what's coming, and people have been filing in. I think probably have some visitors here that aren't coming back until maybe next year, or the next time they do visit, it will be down for construction and it'll be ready for the new Cars attractions. So yeah, I think people are saying their final goodbyes to Tom Sawyer Island. Tom Sawyer Island Explorer map, and we're gonna go walk around the island. And again, I don't know how many more times we're gonna do this. All aboard. Here we go. We're getting on Tom Sawyer Island. We made it to the island. Welcome, islanders. If you like the dark cave, to mystery mines, bottomless pits, shaky bridges, and big rocks, you've come to the best place I know. If you don't like creepy old scary places, don't worry. Huck Finn and myself was plenty scared too. Views of Big Thunder Mountain, the Liberty Bell, which is currently making its way down there, has these beautiful little stream areas. And overall, just a very relaxing place to kind of hang out, to chill, to get away from the crowds that were over on the mainland and Frontierland and the rest of the park, because to be quite frank, nobody really came back here. And if they did, it wasn't a lot of people, and you're spread out enough. So like I said, those people were the first people to pass me in about 5 minutes. So you can really spread your wings out here and get away and just kind of chill. But the kids also saw it as a big playground because there's not a lot of people around and they can kind of run around and do all sorts of fun things. But that is why a lot of people, I think, are very nostalgic to it, because of the way it looks. It's aesthetically pleasing to the frontier. It looks beautiful. The river makes sense because it's the rivers of America, and it emulates kind of that idea of the Mississippi River. Heading into the Great Frontier, which is more desert and wasteland that hadn't been used. And then as people started to inhabit these places, they started to build big mining railroads and different things like that. So once the mines really started to take off there, you had the gold rush and everything else happening in California and Arizona and that area over there. New Mexico, you saw a build out from the frontier where it goes more of the green lands into a drier area and then into the desert. What makes more sense was to keep going in the frontier with California and maybe the Pacific Northwest, which makes sense because cars will be here. So I think it actually fits pretty well with Big Thunder there. And a view you won't get anymore, I don't believe, unless the Liberty Bell does stick around and use a different pathway, which this is actually one of the pathways that I think it could work. I think you could actually have a Liberty Bell in this area kind of going back and forth and making a loop on this side of cars, but I don't know. Because of villains, I think that's what complicates it, and I know people are like, well then, can they just keep it stationary and dock somewhere? I think that probably is more realistic if they just dock the boat and it becomes maybe like a meet and greet with Tiana, or maybe they've got like a, I don't know, like seating, or if somehow they could get a restaurant. Somehow get a restaurant backed up to it. I don't know. I think there's some options that you have with the Liberty Bell. I just know that a lot of work has to be done on it to maintain it, and a lot of money's dumped into it, and it's been down for quite some time in different parts of the year. So I don't know. I don't really know what they plan on doing with it. One of the best views right here is going to be missed, and this bridge does bounce. So it's like the cable bridge and you can bounce on it. It's fun. They've got the barrel bridge back, which we'll go and check out. There goes Liberty Bell. Haunted Mansion, the castle. Big Thunder running over here on the left-hand side in the background. It's a lot of fun. But as you can see, we're bouncing. I love it. I love it. So that's another thing that wasn't talked about. That's the Walt Disney World Railroad back there, and it goes around the whole theme park back behind Big Thunder here. Pretty sure that's where Villains is going. So could we possibly see another downtime for the Walt Disney World Railroad? Because I think it's very likely to happen, because they're going to have to work on that construction and everything else. They're not going to want guest back there in that area, I don't believe, taking photos or anything. So I do think, and again, that's right there where that little bridge is, where the Walt Disney World Railroad goes around that way. So I think once again we're going to see it go down. So I don't know. It'll probably sit in the Main Street station like it used to, but I don't think it will be going around the Magic Kingdom. And this is the back of Fort Langhorne. And again, like I said, it's a giant playground. Well, there's a way in back here, so we'll go through. But again, this is kind of just the nuance of this actual fort, because it's so very different. Yeah, just a fun place to kind of hang out. They usually have like checkers back here. They'll have different rooms you can explore. They got an escape tunnel. They have phones that I don't know if those work. Blacksmith. And you can kind of climb up above and kind of hang out in those areas. They used to have like little toy guns in here. I don't know if they still have them, but checkers and places to sit and hang out. Got restrooms back here. There's the rifle roost up there. And then they got water fountains. And then we're coming out the front side. So this is where the escape tunnel drops you off, back here in this area. So that's actually the exit for the escape tunnel. But I wanted to come back here because I believe all of this is planned to be like an entranceway to Villains. So up here is still going to be cars, I believe. But once you hit a certain point right here by Haunted Mansion, I believe that makes perfect sense to build a portal that takes you from, or just kind of a transition into Villains using Haunted Mansion, because it's kind of has that dark feel to it anyway. And that, again, the Liberty Bell or the Liberty Bell station and the station next to it, which is I think used for Haunted Mansion's extended queue, those seem to be the buildings that are still there in the concept art. But I think right here where that white thing is where it's going to start Villains Land, and then you're going to hit Villains back this way. So all of this should be Villains, and then further back on you should have all of this to explore, because there's a lot of land back this way. And then they have like an expansion pad that's beyond the railroad. I don't know if they're planning on using that, because again, back here as well, what people don't realize is that further back behind parks, they have cast buildings, they have firework fallout. You can't put things there because the fireworks do fall into certain areas. They've built these areas to hold the fireworks, so things don't obviously catch on fire. They've got fire crews ready at the ready around those areas, because they have to shoot the fireworks off somewhere. And some of these areas are used for the fireworks, so you can't just blow through the fireworks and knock them all out, because then they have to build more areas and platforms for the fireworks. So there's a lot of things to think about, and we're going to talk about some of those other things. We're going to go find a seat and talk about maybe some of the reasons I think that Tom Sawyer Island is going to make way. As much as people don't want it to go away, I think there are some reasonable things that we have to consider when we're talking about this area back here in expansion. Haunted Mansion. This is the Haunted Mansion queue. It actually looks like Haunted Mansion is down, because that's a cast member walking through the queue, and I don't see anybody lined up in this area. So it does look like Mansion is down right now. Okay. The Liberty Bell it's always trying to get her time in the vloggy. So this is the area I was just talking about over here, in the exit area of the Langhorne Fort. This area right here, I believe, is going to be where we start to see the transition. So this all cars, and this is going to be all Alpine, I believe. I think this is the building that was definitely in the concept art, because I don't know if they're going to be able to take that out, because that is extended queue area for Haunted Mansion. Maybe they do, I don't know, but again, this waterway is not going to exist, so I think the backside of that building's in jeopardy there. I don't really know what they would do with that. Maybe it make it into more like a, I don't know, Pacific Northwest theming, where you get more, I don't know, Alpine looking buildings leading into cars. That could be the entrance to a ride. I don't know how they're going to use those buildings there. Liberty Square, Liberty Square is over here, and then on the other side of this building right here is the Liberty Bell, as you can hear her. And her station, I think, also is pictured in the concept art. So I think they're going to use those structures, because I think, oh, look, Haunted Mansion just opened back up. So we got people going to the queue. But yeah, no, I think this is the transition area right here for villains, going back into that area, because I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a darker ride. It's kind of spooky looking, kind of looks villainous. Okay, barrel bridge. We haven't done this because they had actually taken this out. So if you don't know what barrel bridges are, there's barrels in the water, and I'm gonna fall because I've got both hands occupied. Oh my gosh. And it moves. I don't know if it does justice of how much it moves, but it's in the water. The barrels are in the water, so they move around in the water as you stand on them. Yeah, that was fun. I'll tell you one thing. Another good thing it had going for it was it's a great place to come get some exercise. Lots of stairs, elevated platforms that go uphill. Yeah. I know a lot of people used to come up here because they do have tables up here that you can kind of sit and relax. They have water fountains, which is always good. You need to stay hydrated while you're up here. And there's nowhere to get drinks because Aunt Polly's is closed and it doesn't look like that vending machine works. But yeah, they have these picnic tables up here and people have just come up here and relaxed usually. So this might be where we do our discussion on all the things happening, or like reasonings behind. Yeah, we'll do it here. We'll do some reasonings behind why I think this is getting ready to make a change. Disney might be going in the direction they're going with Cars. One, Cars is a very popular Pixar movie. It was ranked #1 in the box offices when it was out. It made billions of dollars. It's made billions of dollars. It has 3 movies as it currently exists. It's going to have even more. I really do think they're going to extend the storyline and keep creating Cars things. I know that they've had some shows on Disney Plus. I know that is a very popular attraction, and it's really popular. Radiator Racers is really popular over in Disneyland, one of the most popular rides over there in California Adventure. So I think it makes a lot of sense. The popularity, I think kids will love it. It's creating magic for a new generation, and I know I've talked about this before in my last video that, you know, Walt Disney has always said that this park was always supposed to be ever-changing, that we're supposed to be, you know, really making the next generation happy, and the magical moments, creating them for them. And as much as this is cherished by when you were a kid, and when this park first opened in 1971, it means a lot to different people, and these exist in all the other parks around the world. This idea of Frontierland and Rivers of America and the rivers around Big Thunder Mountains across the globe. And I get it, it means a lot to people, but I also understand that we're trying to make the next generation happy, and the next generation, giving them something that they can create memories with their parents. And I think Cars will do that. This new Cars area will give kids that excitement about going to those attractions. I think here as well, you don't really see as many kids around here unless the parents are bringing them out here, because they don't know what's out here. They don't really come out here. They don't really want to know what's out here. So Tom Sawyer Island is just not visited very much. And I think you see that as you kind of wander around the island. Even though they've announced that it's closing, it's still not as busy as I thought it would be. I know the rafts were full, but I think people were coming out here kind of saying goodbye, and you'll see that quite a bit. But before they announced that this was closing, you could get on rafts with maybe 15, 20 people, and that was it. It is a really nice area to relax and kind of take a break and get away from the craziness of the theme parks, but there are other areas around the theme parks, and maybe we'll do a video on that, on where to get a break if you need a break, because there's a lot of relaxing spots, and I think Cars will have that. If you've ever seen Radiator Racers out in California, you will notice that it is very relaxing, even though it does have the car noises and stuff like that. You don't really hear them. So there are a lot of relaxing spots, and there's the bell. Speaking of relaxing, I think it's loud, but again, a lot of people like that noise. I do. I get it. And I think from a safety perspective, if somebody gets hurt out here, or somebody gets sick, or somebody passes out, getting them medical attention out here is very difficult. It takes a long time, and people just don't have access to things out here that they need to have access to, like air conditioning and water and drinks and food. So I think that's another concern. It's inconvenience for people as well. I think some people see it as an inconvenience to have to get on the rafts, and it takes you about, I don't know, 10 minutes sometimes, because the rafts kind of sit there and you have to wait in line sometimes because some of them are full. There's a lot of different aspects to it. and I think there's a reason why Tom Sawyer Island merchandise doesn't exist. I think there is a need for space, and I don't think people understand there's not a lot of space behind Magic Kingdom as much as you can see them on the maps. You do have the fireworks that are back there that they can't just rip up those platforms and create new platforms for fireworks. Hello. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of reasons I think it makes sense that Cars is coming back here. And it was going to have to happen for Villains anyway, and I don't think people want to acknowledge that, but Villains is also going to take up part of Rivers of America because that goes very deep back there behind Haunted Mansion. So again, Rivers of America I think was always going to be on the chopping block for expansion of the Magic Kingdom because they're not going to get rid of Storybook because they just did Storybook. They can't blow out Fantasyland. It's new. Adventureland has one expansion pad, and I think they're going to be using that very soon. There was just not a lot of room, and people are like, well, build another park or build another area in other parks. A lot of them are landlocked. You can't really expand at Epcot. You can't really expand at Hollywood Studios, as we're seeing with the discussion about Muppets and Animation Courtyard because of those offices at Hollywood Studios. Another thing you got to think about is Magic Kingdom operates on a utilidor system, so tunnels underneath the Magic Kingdom that cast members have to be able to operate, service roads back there, emergency exits for vehicles that have to come in for emergency reasons. The parade is over here. You can't knock out that area because where are you going to put the parade? Some of these areas are parking spots for these big boats that you don't see, but are back there. There's electrical, there's plumbing, there's gas, there's all sorts of things. Soil that can't be used or deemed unusable, so you don't want to go through a sinkhole. There's just so many things that I think aren't really thought about when we're talking about why this seems to be the area that Magic Kingdom can expand. And I get it. I understand that it doesn't fit in with the Frontierland as you know it, but I also think Frontierland is changing in a way that I would not be shocked in the very near future if we get a different name for different places. So, you know, things can change. I'm just speculating at that point, but I do think it makes a lot of sense as to why Disney picked this area. And it is very sad because I know a lot of people are attached to it. I don't want my favorite rides or attractions going away, but I know it has to happen sometimes. So those are just my thoughts. So that was an awesome day at the Magic Kingdom. Went out, rode the Liberty Bell, went out to Tom Sawyer Island, discussed the changes that were coming, saw some Halloween merchandise, tried some Halloween food. So that was a really productive day. Glad we got to do that. I'm gonna come out and ride Peter Pan another time. Just ran out of time today. It's extremely warm out. It was really nice sitting in the shade, but whew, this sun, it's no joke in August here in Florida. But thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you guys in the next video, and we hope to see you guys at the parks.